That goes a very special happy birthday to our fearless leader, Lola.
Oh, happy birthday, Lola.
Yeah, today's Lola's birthday.
Nice.
Make sure this is all on. Everything good? What's up, guys?
I wasn't sure whose birthday was. I was looking around. I'm like, I didn't see anybody with a cake or a candle, nothing.
Somebody's going to pop out of one later.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe Lola.
Well, today's Matt's last day. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me all right?
It's nice knowing all y'all. Appreciate the time.
Just, leave some pizzas at the door.
I got burgers now. I'm like a burger guy.
Tell you what, the burger was good.
I'm going to have to invent a burger diet.
I really hate to give you credit, and I told the guy who runs this place when he ordered the burger, I go, I hate to really give you credit for anything, but it was good, crispy.
Yeah. Like a smash burger, but it's like black Angus beef.
Here's what he did, though, Caleb. He's for all the crap I give him, sometimes he's smart.
Yeah.
So he takes the thinnest hamburger patty I've ever seen in my life, okay, and smashed it, whatever. But it was like 3 times the size of the bun.
Yeah.
So you know what? So by looking at your eyes, you're like, oh, that's massive.
Yeah.
Perception.
It is.
Perception is the master of life, right? Like, it's all about illusion. Like, Chick-fil-A is not really healthy.
It's not. It's terrible for you. It's just delicious, though.
But it's hateful.
delicious.
And they restrict you on Sunday, and then you're like, oh, you
don't need to eat this trash every day. Take Sunday off.
Any kid, you say no to something, they don't want anything except what you said no to.
For sure.
Right? As humans, like
that's when you crave it the most.
So like, Randy's like, I'll buy 3 on Saturday, freeze 2, eat it on Sunday, and then I'll go back on Monday, get 1 fresh.
Not quite like that.
They got you hooked, dog.
But I do sometimes go on Saturday and put them away, put them in the refrigerator. So
I need it fresh. I'm out. I can't eat the old.
Oh no, it's good.
Later,
it's good.
Yeah, because the bun is,
But Randy gets off on the part of just like, I had it on a day, you can't have it.
Okay,
it's Sunday, and here's my hateful chicken.
Religious chicken. It's my religious chicken.
It is hateful.
I'm just back from voluntary mandatory practice. OTAs.
OTAs, that's right.
Oh.
That's right. How's that?
A veteran move by you, by the way. You've been able to be here today. You're no fool. I don't care what anybody says. You're no fool. Everybody was there. Mike Evans wasn't there since he just had a baby.
Yeah.
So.
What's the baby got to do? He didn't deliver the baby.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, he could go to work.
Trust me. He's going to work.
There's a thing that happens once a guy kind of gets past. When you're a solidified starter, you're past probably like year 4 or 5, like you're in the year 5 range and up, you start, OTAs is, you know what, I think, hey, coach, I won't be here the next couple of days. I got to go handle this or got to go handle that, you know what I mean? So that's how it goes.
So it didn't change.
So if that's after year 4 or 5 or 6, what's after year, 22? See you in September?
Yeah, like Aaron Rodgers says. I'm going to see you when I see you. I'll see you when camp starts.
Well, Brady was already there before OT.
He was there before.
He was there. He's out in the park throwing balls illegally.
You got to understand though.
Allegedly,
right? Tom Brady's thing, his edge, even though he has a great arm, he's super, super talented. That whole notion that Tom Brady is lacking in talent is ridiculous. It's
Who said that?
People say that all the time. He works very hard, but he's talented. To do what he's done in his career, he's talented. But his approach to the game was never based on, I can throw the ball from any angle all over the field. So he has a routine that has kept him going for 22 years. He's going to stick with it. And Rodgers can wake up out of bed and sling it into a trash can 80 yards down the field. So his approach is a little bit different.
Now, have you seen that YouTube video, that ambidextrous quarterback who can throw both hands? Is that a game-changing skill set?
It looks good on film where there's no defensive backs and there's no pass rush. Kind of like you can watch somebody run a 40 or do football drills and do routes on air, and it's like, oh man, that kid is amazing. And they go put pads on. It's like it's not the same thing. So we'll see.
I want to go back to the softball that you just threw about people have said about Tom Brady. People have said. So I want to talk about Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did see that. So okay,
lay the groundwork.
What is the backstory of what was said about him? I saw the video, and I have my take on the video. What was said about him? Because in the video, when I kept asking him, hey, what did I say about you to make you feel this way? He kind of never really gave a definitive answer.
Okay. I don't know if it matters.
Yeah.
I don't know if it matters yet. unless it's a derogatory. If it's, hey, on the practice field he called him the N-word.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do more than just slap his hat off his head.
For sure.
Okay.
He slapped his hat off his head?
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's what I'm saying. And so some things were said, obviously negative about him and his teammates, or some teammates.
Yeah.
Like media tend to do.
Yeah.
And then treat you like your best friends.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked about this.
Uh-huh.
So I guess he went up to him at OTA.
Yeah.
And he slapped his hat off his head, and some words were said back and forth.
Yeah.
Now, we can try to find out what words. I don't know if the words matter, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about some other things about words and such.
Yeah.
So then I guess the reporter has a podcast, not a
Yeah.
live radio show on FCC and then put out throughout the
Like a
nation. and
YouTube
worldwide.
channel kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So this football player called in
Humble brag.
and and said some stuff.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I've got a couple of quotes if we need to. But the one that's disturbing to me, and I addressed the exact same thing with Dana White.
Yeah.
When Vitor Belfort said to John Morgan, I have friends here. When John Morgan was, asking about the steroid use and blah, 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 blah. Can I say blah, 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 blah?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I could ever say blah, 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 blah anymore. That's from Ron's show, I'm Not a Comedian, Lenny Bruce.
Amazing show, by the way. If it's in your city, your town, go check it out. It was great.
Now I got to go back a step.
Hold on, I want to just finish laying the groundwork, and then you can bore us and pull us
No,
down.
I just need to know who you're talking about because these names mean nothing to me.
Shocking.
I've never heard of these people.
It's defensive lineman for the San Francisco 49ers.
It doesn't, and just kind of like what I said, it doesn't, to me, at least at this point, it doesn't matter what was said. It doesn't really matter to you or to anybody who the player is.
Right.
I said he's a player with the San Francisco 49ers. And what I'm trying to get at is it doesn't matter if it's the starting quarterback, if it's the reserve player.
Oh,
if
it
it's
does.
Absolutely
No,
not.
because it's a nobody. It's a name no one knows, and it doesn't matter. It's just white noise.
You're a professional.
If it was Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, somebody that we know.
Can I just...
Okay, if somebody, I'll put it like that thing. Put it like this: if somebody in the news starts writing stuff about your pizza place, trashing it, unnecessarily, are they going to say, "Well, you're not Papa John's. Why should you care if somebody writes bad about you?" No, that's you. They're slandering, and this is your business. That's his business. It's his body.
That's the difference between Caleb and me. I just call you a freaking moron. Caleb at least tries to explain to you why you're a freaking
And
moron.
I'm not Vito Belfort. I don't need friends. I'm going to go take care of that myself.
Yeah,
That's what he did.
No, so I like this guy. Who is this guy?
So
I'm gonna
here's,
look him up. I'm gonna have a
here's
jersey.
the issue that I have. Not that he called him every name in the book.
Yeah.
Not that he, which I'm not.
He said my private parts are bigger than yours.
Yeah,
That's
he
hilarious.
did. Yeah, he did
That
say
was
that.
hilarious.
He did say that.
Credence.
But when he said, my family knows who you are, now that's a threat.
Yeah.
That's taking words, and I've always said, call me anything you want. I hate when people are all upset about words. It's words. Words don't hurt you. But when you say your family knows who you are, that has the potential to hurt you. So it'll be interesting how this plays out. Give me your thoughts. And again, I know things have been said about you, and I know the media in town, and I know I don't want to go too far because they already dislike me.
Yeah.
But how difficult is it to deal with a media after they say negative things? And I don't want to put you on that fence that you have to get on one side or another.
It's okay. For me, like we've talked about numerous times on and off the air, there is a line that you toe when you are media, and you understand that there's a way you can go about talking about somebody's game, their performance, and when you start dipping into the personal things, that's kind of where you cross that line because, like you said, like one thing he said, you don't know me, you don't know where I'm from. Everyone has different upbringing. Some people can hear that kind of criticism because of where they're from, because of how they grew up, and say, oh, it's just media, that's how it is. Other people hear that because of where they're from, where they grew up, that's disrespect, and you cross the line. And so you don't know who you're talking to or talking about, and when it's an intimate thing, like it's not ESPN saying this, I see you every day. I see you in the locker room, we interact with each other, I see you all the time, you greet me, I greet you, we walk by each other, so how can you say these things about me? And again, I don't know exactly what he said that tipped him off, but like I said, like everyone is different, and you just don't know who you're dealing with, and so you have to, and again, like he's in the media, and he has a right to say whatever he wants to, but he also has to deal with those consequences of what comes with it, and so that's what he's dealing with now, and they both do. Like, Kinlaw, he's going to have to deal with the consequences of him, going on that show and saying what he said and doing what he did. That's just kind of how it works. So,
what kind of things have been said about you historically, and like, what was there any of them that actually took personal, where you were like, you know what, I don't care about the paycheck, I don't care about this league, I'm ready to make a point or stand for my name?
I'm going to jump in real quick, and I'm going to be Steve. It's none of your damn business.
That's not true.
Well, that's what Steve would typically say.
I won't go into too great of a detail, but like, there have been, at times fans have said things after games on social media, and I've given them a response because, they come at me with something snarky, and I've given them kind of a snarky remark back, and they start tweeting Jason Light and saying, oh, you can't talk to the fans that way, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, if you you want attention from somebody, you're going to go talk about somebody. If they give you a response, you deal with it. I've never had that with media because I kind of don't really read clippings. I just go and play and do my stuff. There is times with other players and a coach at one point in my career where we had to kind of have a man-to-man talk like, hey, you can't talk to me this way. I'm a grown-up like you're a grown-up, and we're not going to have that kind of dialogue. Coach me hard, but be respectful. And sometimes you have to have those conversations. You have to. Because if you let people say whatever and do whatever, then, so it's a respect thing.
But on the same line, that takes it down to Street Jesus, Jorge Masvidal, and Colby. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
and that's basically the same thing.
Same thing.
Oh God, that smells good.
Yeah.
Words that turn into a physical altercation.
Yeah.
And
I like them.
It's just like you can't say whatever you want to say. And I don't want people to confuse the situation with the comedians thing. Right? That's a different situation because you as a consumer.
And didn't we learn a lot about that Saturday night?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
You as a consumer pay to go watch a comedy show. If you're upset at what the guy is saying, it offends you, get up and walk away. Right? If I'm playing football and you're writing about me, that's something completely different. It's a different dynamic. So I just want to kind of clarify with that.
And not to take side of people that I don't get along with, meaning the media. And I agree with what you're saying. You can say that you had a bad game without saying you suck.
Yeah.
So.
But if the athletes start taking it like Ron Artest and just run up in the stands and start knocking out fans, I say people will stop saying stupid stuff at sporting games.
I just think, again, people got to understand, the one thing that stuck out to me that he said that I think is really important for people to understand, he said, you don't know me, you don't know where I'm from.
Sure.
And he's not saying that to say, I'm from the hood, I'll beat you up type of thing. He's like, you have no idea what's disrespect to me. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, you don't know. And as men, we understand any conversation that we have with another man, there's a small sliver that it can escalate very, very quickly if you say the wrong thing.
Always.
Right?
Every time I talk to Matt.
Every time I'm in traffic.
So if you, I'll put it like this, right? I know some people who did time in jail or prison or whatever it is. As a joke, if you say the B word to them, they will fight you. Because where they're
means
from,
something different.
it means something different
for sure.
than out here. You can't joke with them like that.
Right.
So there's certain things you can't say to certain people. And he's like, hey, whatever it is you're saying, I have to check you because now at least to me, slapping your hat off. I don't want to act like that. That's what I understood from his comments. And again, what was said, I'm not sure. But I just feel like it's,
And what's the guy's name again? Because I'm a
Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah, Javon.
I'm gonna buy a jersey. I like this kid. I like the way he stands up. But I'm for knocking out media.
But I do though. I enjoy people
Really?
stand up and stand up and speak up for yourself. I appreciate. He didn't go to social media. He went on his platform.
Oh, you're talking about the media guy?
No.
Or you're talking about
Kinlaw.
the football?
He went on his platform and he talked to him. About it.
His two mistakes was A, putting his hands on him.
Yeah.
As little as it is and again, you don't know him, he don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, if I was to do that to you and you slapped the hat off my head, I wouldn't have an issue with it. Honestly, I wouldn't.
Oh, please do it.
I'm going to tell you a story.
I'll give you $50.
I'm going to. All right, I'll split it with you. All right. So
wings for life.
back in the day, Warren Sapp gave me his phone number.
Yeah.
We've been friends ever since. Blah 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 blah. There I go again. Blah 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 blah. And I said to him, I go, Warren, just like I've said this to you, Warren, I will never give this number to anyone. And he goes, I know, but what's the worst thing that'll happen? I'll have to get a new number?
Yeah.
And I go, no, that's not what I'm worried about. And he laughs. He goes, oh, you're worried about the tough love, huh? And I know what that means.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing back. If I know you as a person, not because of what you do and what I do, I would expect that. But if they have this already violent, per se, relationship, he shouldn't have he shouldn't have touched him. He shouldn't have
understood.
Now, probably what's going to happen is the media guy's going to get banned. That's what I foresee.
Yeah.
You know, and I
Player
just
get fined.
possibly.
Yeah, if he touched him, so that's you put hands on people. You know, that's probably what's gonna happen.
And I shouldn't say it, but I'm going to. He can probably afford the fine more than this media person can afford losing credentials to how he makes his living.
Yeah, but you know, and I don't think he should lose his job. I think he wrote the story, he said what he said, and he garnered the response that he garnered, and now he understands. Hey, if I want to keep talking about this person this way, this is the reaction I'm going to get.
Right.
And if the guy kept voicing a sentiment, he says, hey, like, we don't F with you. Nobody in the locker room F's with you. And you know, like anybody else, there's certain people in the locker room that no one likes. Right? And again, it might not get to that point, but again...
Oh, no, it's at that point. I read that while we were talking.
Yeah.
So they were, like, a lot of the players went to him and said, why are you even talking to him? We don't talk to this media guy.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to him?
Yeah.
Why are you... But again, it's probably because he said some things that...
And he was like, I can't let it slide.
Right,
I
right.
just can't. So it's, you know, hey, Chris Rock said it off. Will Smith set it off, man.
No.
Will Smith sold himself out of Hollywood.
Will
That's what he
Smith
did.
set it off.
And Chris Rock, I hold him responsible, and I think we talked about this Saturday night, I hold him responsible with what happened to Dave Chapelle and what's going to happen to other comedians moving down the road.
Hey, but Chris Rock's got a chin on him, so I got to give him props. He took that slap like a man.
What does that have to do with what I just said? He may not last this hour, and nobody's here.
Comedians need to stand up. They need to start training, sparring. Like if a fan comes out, I mean, you run to the UFC.
I think if you
run to the UFC, they get body slammed before you even get to the
pay
octagon.
money to go watch a comedy show, and you get upset at something like a joke, you know. So you're
where's
going there to
security
listen
at?
to jokes.
But where's the security? Because if you run, a fan
there's
run to the UFC and they
there's
get
security.
body slammed, they get crushed.
There is security.
But in a football game,
Chappelle's
fans
guy
they go
got
on the
beat up.
field, they go out in the 50-yard line before they get tackled. I mean, like security shouldn't even let somebody pass like the sideline.
But you got to understand, at a comedy show, it's as far as me and you are. The stage is right here and you're right there. By the time you can jump on stage, security can't run out that fast. It's not like a concert, you know what I mean? Like, the guy got 5 feet up to Dave Chapelle before the security can get there, and so it's just one of those things where you're anticipating, hey, you paid to come watch this show, you know what I'm going to talk about, you know my comedy, you know how I talk, you know everybody gets made fun of, so don't come up here and get offended. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's a different.
All right, we're over. Let's hit this break. We'll come back and continue talking about this because it's an interesting subject, and I know there's quite a few other things that we need to touch base, as well as yesterday, and yes, I know this was taped. We saw it yesterday, Ultimate Fighter. Did you watch it? Did you get a chance?
I watched the first 2. I didn't watch yesterday.
Yesterday was a great episode, and we'll talk about it to set the groundwork for when Laura comes on at the top of the hour. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by 8 Man Strong and Staff Zone. We'll be right back.